Alright, welcome to the next installment, Vincent Gap Peak. Just about at the top of something right now. So, this has not been a long walk. This could be a false summit, but nearing the top of something here. There's a little rock duck up here. Huh. Alright, it's not appear to be a false summit at all. This is it. Vincent Gap Peak. Approximate elevation, probably closer to 7,580 feet. Ah, there's actually a little sign up here. Sometimes you find these on the top of some of the well-known peaks, some of the random peaks. I did not expect to see one of these little triangle signs. Well, this is it. This is Vincent Gap Peak. On Peakbagger, it's listed as 7,560 feet as an approximate elevation, ranging from 7,560 to 7,600 feet. So this is it. This is Vincent Gap Peak. Overall, the cross-country scramble was very short. It was much shorter than I expected. I knew it wasn't going to be a super long one coming up here, but I thought it'd be a little bit longer than the one I just did. But this is it. This is an unofficially named summit. Bear in mind, Vincent Gap Peak is an unofficially named summit. And if you look across the way, it's not easy to see here because of all the vegetation. It's very thickly wooded along the ridge here. But this drops down to a saddle, and then Jackson Flat is over there to the east. I won't see it very well from here because this is very thickly wooded. I don't mind that. I don't need to have a great view for me to want to climb a peak. Hey, having a great view is a bonus. Having a great view is a good thing. Don't get it twisted. But I have an obsession with mountaintops, mountain peaks. As you can tell, just about all my hikes, 99% of them involve climbing mountain peaks. Here I am on another one. It's my 38th peak of the year. Like I said, it would have been a lot further along had I not had my work schedule change on me back in May, and not had that accident back 4 weeks ago to the day. But there's no use in complaining about it, crying about it. I mean, what's the point? I'm up here on another mountain peak, and this one was not a really hard one to get to. Not at all, actually. And you can kind of see the ridge line towards Jackson Flat from here. That's where the campground is, and there's a summit over there. It looks like both these summits are very close to the same elevation, though I believe Jackson Flat might be a little bit higher. And I was just up there 3 months ago. But I hiked from the Grassy Hollow. The first time I hiked up that PCT from Vincent Gap. I thought I hiked up the road, but I hiked up the PCT to the road, followed the road, then got on a spur trail that led to the PCT and continued along the PCT around the east side of Jackson Flat, and then took a use trail to the water tower, which marks the summit area. Now, not to say that there aren't any views here. We'll say that. We got some good views here towards right there, that summit straight ahead. That's called Frost Benchmark, and it's I believe the second highest point on Blue Ridge. Wright Mountain cannot be seen from here. Wright Mountain is actually the highest point of Blue Ridge, and it's beyond it, a few miles beyond it. And then we got Pine Mountain there at 9,648 feet. Frost benchmark's about 8,480. I've been up to that one once. Sometimes they just call it Blue Ridge. Some people just call it Blue Ridge. There's supposed to be a benchmark that says frost on it. I was not able to find it. I know some people are really good at finding those, and usually I am, but I did not succeed. And of course, we got that two-hump peak over there. The right side is West Baldy, and the left side is the higher Mount San Antonio, or Old Baldy. And then over here, get a nice forested view. I don't mind having a forested in summit. Some people get crazy, oh, there are no views up here, da da da. Well, I enjoy the wooded views too. I think it's pretty up here. Actually, this is a beautiful summit. We got some Mariposa lilies up here. I'm not sure what species those are. So yeah, there's quite... I know a lot of people say, hey man, you really know your plants. Well, I'm really good with my woody plants. I can point out quite a bit up here. Mountain sagebrush, Artemisia tridentata subspecies vasiana. Single leaf pinion, Pinus monophylla. Desert ceanothus, Ceanothus gregii. Okay. Mountain whitethorn, Ceanothus cordulatus. Jeffrey pine, Pinus jeffrey. Sugar pine, that little sapling right there, Pinus lambertiana. White fir, Abies concolor, variety concolor. See, the woody plants are really not the problem. I just haven't spent the amount of time I need to on identifying a lot of the herbaceous plants, the annuals and the perennials, the bulbs. I haven't spent a lot of time with those, which is what I need to do. So that's what I need to bone up on. And just like on the last hike, forgot to bring my wildflowers. Now here's a violet. Here's a species of violet right here. Oh, I gotta squat down. I'm not sure what species that is. I don't think that's Viola pedunculata. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what species that is. But that's a species of violet in the genus Viola, or Viola, however you want to pronounce it. So I recognize genera, but my herbaceous plants, I am nowhere near fluent in them. So it gives me just another challenge. I have an interest in learning, so I should take that more seriously and spend more time with the herbaceous plants. But overall, I'm glad I made it up here. This was totally worth it. And the cross country to get up here is very short, very quick. So PCT is not very far from here. So like I said, you get to the high point of the PCT coming from Vincent Gap before it starts slightly going downhill. Turn right, which is heading east, and just come up the slope. It's a class 1 slope. There's no rock scrambling to get up here. This is quite simply an easy peak. And from Vincent Gap, it's only maybe about 900, well, maybe between 950 and 1,000 feet of elevation gain. It's spread out over roughly a mile to a mile and a half directly up the PCT, or closer to 2 miles if you take the dirt road like I did to the PCT, if you want a more gradual and a little bit longer ascent because you don't want to get it done super fast. But, and then here we are, Mount Baden-Powell right there. That mighty beautiful mountain right there. I've had the fortune of making it up there twice. Once from Vincent Gap, the traditional way, and then once from Dawson Saddle, going over Troop Peak, Mount Burnham, Peak 9086. Peak 9086 is the little bump immediately to the west of the massive Baden-Powell. So if you're hiking up the Dawson Saddle Trail to the Pacific Crest Trail, you turn right, hike for maybe about 100 yards, maybe 200 yards at most. Find the use trail, get up to Troop Peak. You won't be able to see Troop Peak from here. It's way off behind the folds of the ridge. Then you go back down, get back on the PCT, hike southbound on it, which is basically roughly hiking to the east along the ridge. Then you're going to go down for a while, then you're going to go up, and then your next big peak is Mount Burnham. You can bypass it or bypass it on the PCT, which switchbacks underneath it really quickly, or you could climb over Mount Burnham like I did. I thought it was a pretty cool little peak. A lot of people don't really seem to think much of it. Some people think it's cool. I think it's cool. You know me, I love my mountain summits. It's kind of nice and chill up there, actually. And then after Mount Burnham, you're continuing along the PCT, and then for a little while, and then you'll see another bump before you see Baden-Powell. That bump, it doesn't have a lot of prominence, but the summit of it's Peak 9086. So you can summit four peaks along the way to Baden-Powell if you do it from Dawson Saddle. If you do it from Islip Saddle, which I tried to do once, but I just didn't have the juice for it, you could summit like 6 or 7 peaks, maybe even more. I know you could summit some big ticket peaks like Mount Islip, Mount Hawkins, Troop, Burnham, and Baden-Powell, but then you can also do peaks like 9086. There's a peak that's about 8,400 feet along the way. There's a peak that's about 8,600 feet along the way, neither of which has a lot of prominence, but a peak is a peak. That's the way I look at things. So I do very highly recommend doing Baden-Powell. If you do it from Vincent Gap, it's a lot steeper. If you do it from Dawson Saddle, the trade-off is it's less elevation gain. But what I meant to say, the trade-off is you're going to have some ups and downs because you're going along an undulating ridge. But nothing really severe, nothing extraordinarily steep. There might be a few little steep spots, but nothing ridiculous. But today, like I said, in previous videos, I'm still trying to get back into shape. So I'm taking it easy. So this is a pretty easy peak to get to. The only thing that's bothering me is just my left foot and left ankle. They're a little bit sore right now. But I had no trouble getting up here. So anybody with even, I would say a beginner could do this. Just might be might have to get used to a little cross-country walking. But like I said, once the PCT hits the highest spot, turn right, start heading up. So this is it, Vincent Gap Peak. It's between 7,560 and 7,600 feet in elevation. It's probably closer to like the 7,580, give or take, maybe 7,570. And could go back down and take that road all the way to Jackson Flat, but I'm not going to go that far today. So this is it, Vincent Gap Peak. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed hiking it. And be on the lookout for my next hiking video. Don't think I'm going to film much on the way down. If I do, you'll see a video for it. But just enjoy that Baden-Powell, and we'll see what the next adventure brings.